Hi, everyone. Yes, this is Phyllis Y. Whitley. And if you have been spiritually victimized or traumatized, welcome to Spiritology Live, where I bring my #1 Amazon bestseller book to life. Each episode will be a raw, spiritual, metaphysical, holistic space of consciousness for self-healing as you learn how to break your religious shackles so you can master and manifest your promised land within today. Let's go. Hello, everyone. Oh my goodness. I don't even know how to thank you, but I am going to thank everybody all over the world. My podcast is reaching, oh my goodness, should I name Canada, the Philippines, India. It's in the north part of the United States, the south part of the United States, even on the West Coast. And I think that's about it. So it is spreading, and I want you to continue to spread. Tell somebody so they can tell somebody so they can tell somebody. Even when you tell somebody something as small as it seems, go listen to this particular podcast. Go read this book. You're changing somebody's life. A lot of people say, I want to be a part of changing my community. Your community should start with your family, then your neighbors, and it can just be your coworkers. With that being said, you do it. Sometimes it just takes a word of encouragement. Sometimes it takes that special book. Some people can witness that one book that they read 10 years ago changed their whole entire life. So with that being said, I appreciate everyone who comes in, but you got to share it. Share the wisdom that I'm giving you. Now, we actually finished E18, which is episode 18, and I am so happy that we made it that far because I heard that most people, run out of gas with the episodes. At least they said 10 episodes. So thank goodness and thank God, because basically what I'm doing is I'm not going to really ever run out, because literally I have a book. And this is an example to all of you out there who have a book or getting ready to do a book, write a book. You can take that same book and make it a podcast and just do a chapter or speak on a paragraph. It's just that simple. So with that being said, because the last couple weeks have been very, very, very trying and busy, and I have to practice what I have preached, and I have to go ahead and knock down obstacles that are really illusions that appear in my own life. So yes, the person behind the mic do have a life, and I have to make sure that I am giving myself the proper self-care so I can be able to come forth and deliver the message to y'all in an appropriate way, in an accurate way, in a caring way, and even in a raw way, because everyone don't accept a messenger that is just very lowly and gentle. Sometimes you have to reach that crowd with rawness. And then you got another crowd you have to be gentle. Another crowd you have to be way up in another atmosphere. And then you will understand it once you get your podcast. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. You can't please everybody, so don't try to please everybody. You have your own audience, but even in your audience, everybody have different personalities. So the reason why I'm getting on that is because the last couple of weeks we have been doing a lot of stuff. I hope that many of y'all took my podcast and did homework, sit back and ask yourself some personal questions so you can move forward into your promised land. Now, some of you have asked me, how do I know I'm going in that direction? First of all, the first thing you have a sense of peace. That's the first thing you will feel peaceful. And when you're going the opposite, it'll start feeling like you're walking into fire. The second thing you really want to do, you want to have a vision board. You want to have a task board. You want to know what it is that you're going to do on a daily basis. Some of you say, well, Miss P, I just go to work and come home. Yes, some of y'all have to do that. But how about when you come home, what are you doing after you get home? I remember the late Miles Monroe said something about what you do after you go home, come home, makes a world of difference on your business, or what type of business are you going to have, and who are you going to change. What he really was saying at the time was, some people come home, eat, and just watch TV. You're not doing anything outside of your job because you're working for someone else. You're helping them. But what are you doing to help your family? What are you doing to leave a legacy? For instance, you don't know what I'm talking about. It can be when you come home, you start writing on a book. It can be when you come home, you start doing a podcast. It can be when you come home, you literally start doing research on certain things. Maybe you have a YouTube. Maybe you just get on social media. Maybe you do t-shirts and apparels. You literally want to sell it. So you want to spend that time doing that. And I feel like, you don't have to do but an hour or 2 hours. And some people, if you say, I don't need a TV, you can just do that. But make sure that you stop and you have a time to just relax and do self-care. So, because you can't just go from work to work to work, your mind have to shut off. And that's something that we have to remember. So I hope I helped somebody out with that today. Now, we're going to go straight into these questions. It's questions that I have in my book that I know that you have in front of you, because I know you ordered it. And if you didn't, please go order it. I am going to, as I say, give you the dessert. So you're not going to get everything unless you have that book in front of you. We are going to do Q&A, and the Q&A really is going to make a big difference, because this is going to help you change your obstacles and make them opportunity. Yes, take all of that illusion that is sitting in your face, all the buts, I can, if, and we're going to literally, I'm going to ask you questions that I want you to not only write them down, but I want you to meditate on these questions. And these questions, when you have the answers to these questions, then you can go to the next step. And it's going to help you move forward without letting these heavy obstacles, because life is going to bring you obstacles, because everyone is manifesting what is in their mind and subconscious mind. And unfortunately, a lot of people are not thinking the best thoughts. Okay. So you sometimes are picking up other people's thoughts, other people's problems. You have to know, how do I deal with this? How do I take this and make this an opportunity? Do I walk away from this, or do I climb over this mountain? Okay. This is excellent, because this is going to help you. I'm going to go straight into the questions. One of the questions for everybody, if you haven't listened to my podcast, go back and listen to it. Basically, it's just talking about the chains or the religious shackles that Christians, or really even other religions, have had to encounter that stopped them from moving forward. Some of the lies that was told, some of the people who invaded your life, your privacy, that you looked at them as the next best thing to God. That really can destroy everything else when your spiritual community, the spiritual side of you, is not functioning right. So my book really is about getting your spiritual side, feeding it and making it stronger, so your flesh is just not going AWOL and being, how should I say, it's not disciplined. You have to master your spirit world in order for you to discipline your flesh. And I could have said it the other way. You have to discipline your spirit in order for you to master your flesh. Vice versa, your spiritual is two parts of you, spiritual and physical. Well, Miss P, I really don't believe in all of that hoo-wah, hoo-wah, hoo-wah. Yeah, go cut your finger and see what happened. Are you still walking around? Can you still talk? Yes. Even though a limb was gone? Yes. It's something more than you than just that. Do you understand what I'm saying? When you go and have an operation and they have to unfortunately cut on you, you come back, they put you to sleep. You come back because they putting your flesh to sleep. A lot of times people say, I remember, even though they put me on some type of, how they put you to sleep, I literally remember what they was doing. You have a spiritual part of you. You know the part that is the unction, the part that's in the psychic world say intuitive, the church, the Christianity say prophetic. You have something that is telling you something is wrong when you walk through a door. You understand what I'm saying? That right there is another side of you. And that's what I really concentrate on. I concentrate on helping you learn how to get over your past dilemmas and traumatized, victimized attitude. Although you might have went through something and been abused, I'm not taking that lightly. My credentials are not to take the place of a counselor or a psychiatrist. But if you wanted counseling with me, I can do that because I have a master's degree in that. And I'm also an ordained minister. So I can go ahead and bring the Bible to you, bring counseling to you, but point it to the real source. All of that means something. So really, I'm like the ambassador of your spiritual side. That's what I really take control over, because once we master that, you can learn how to discipline your flesh. That's why people are going rampant. What we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, we actually was talking about the book is based on where the wolves' quarters are, where they live at, in high places in the spiritual realm you can't see, but they literally go into and embody themselves into the person, the politician that's no good, the people in Hollywood that is scared to have you think it's only one race that is the best and that it's another race or culture that is no good. The movies that only give praise to one type of people. They are in the courtroom where money is being sent under the table to lock somebody up that's innocent, and somebody else, because of what their book cover look like, they can get away free. It's on. We talked about all the different places. You have to get my book to go ahead and know that where you will find the wolves in sheep clothing, and the main place is standing in the pulpit. And that's because that part right there, if you can kill your spirit, your faith, then you just walking around this world and you don't know who, what, when, how. You don't even know what to do when crisis comes. You be like, pray to who? And so yes, that's why I'm here. I'm here to let you know that, man will be man, but that has nothing to do with God. I mean, for you to have a relationship with God so you can understand that you are here not for yourself, but for others, to help others. But you cannot help others unless you have a platform. Get that in your head. People say you just constantly say that, but you can have the best job and you hear this all the time and you walk around and say, I really feel empty. It's not that God don't want you to enjoy yourself. He's going to reward you when you start coming to him and making him your best friend and making him your father, your mother, your sister, your brother. What's going to happen is he said he reward those who diligently seek him. He don't reward you because you got a checklist and you said, I didn't do this, I didn't do this, I didn't do this, I obey him and this and this and this and this. The church wants you to think that God loves all of his people. It's man that may say, I don't like the way you're doing it. Yes, he know in this body, in this flesh, we're going to do stuff that is not good for ourselves. That's why he have the laws. The laws that's out there, he made and governed it because it's for us to protect ourselves. It's a reason that you have to discipline your flesh. Okay? The first question I have, let's go into it. Now that you understand, if you don't, go back and listen to the previous podcast. 1, the self-whisper. That's the name of my company. The first question is, what spells have you allowed to dictate your life? Religion or gospel, and why? Ask yourself that. And I'm not talking about spells. Spells is spell, is the same as word. The Bible is the word. Gospel is good spells, God spells. It's there. So those of you who haven't heard that, get used to it. It's not witchcraft or whatever, although you can take it and turn it into the darkness. Okay? But we about light here. So you need to ask yourself, what did someone say to you growing up? Or what did a group of people say? Or maybe it was a coworker. Maybe it was that boss that told you you'll never be nobody. Or maybe it was your mother. It could have been your daddy who said to you, girl, you know you can't do that. How about your it might have been your sister or brother who laughed and said, if I took the test and then passed, you're not going to pass. Do you understand? Those are spells that literally really were bad spells. Some of them didn't intend to do it, and most people don't even know how harmful their words are. Words will hurt you. Remember sticks and stones? I'm not going to go into that. Will hurt you, but words will never harm you. That's not true. So, with that being said, I want you to think about that. Write down the words that really hurt you. It can be that ex who said to you, you ugly, you too fat, and you spend the rest of your life throwing up your food. You understand what I'm saying? Look, from a bad point of view, it can be the woman who literally looked at you and told you, shame your manhood. And somebody could have said, you're just too short. I like 6 foot and over. The man walking around, he always have a short man syndrome. Somebody once said, and you literally is walking around, oh my God, I'm just not tall enough. It's always someone, everyone has something that somebody said to them. That's why it's important when you go ahead and give somebody a book, a special podcast, a special word, because literally that can change the rest of their life. Don't you know one word as a child can totally destroy you? So ask yourself, write down about 10 things that you know to this day. Oh, they told me I'll never be nobody. Once you write that down, I want you to go to the next question. Ask yourself, are you living your life to the fullest? Are you? And I say fullest in spiritual freedom because it's a sense of connecting with the universe. Do you feel the bliss of happiness? Do you just sit down and take the time to feel nature? Do you go by the water to meditate? Do you just look at the trees and hear the trees? It could be in the snow. Do you just look at the snow, the beautiness of the snow when it first start coming down? And then rain. The rain is the quiet rain. Some people have relaxation in thunderstorms and heavy rain. Believe it or not, I will listen to heavy rain and thunderstorm. Now, don't you go do it and say, I'm copying off of Miss P. You have to find what you like. They have meditation for some people like airplanes going by. Everybody, depending on the way you was raised, is certain type of sound that comforts you, relaxes you. Some people was raised on a farm and they just love the animals, the different animals that start acting, making noise early in the morning. Some people love camping. They love the forest sound. They love the ocean sound. They like the lake sound. Is those things like that, it give you a sense of peace. So these two things that I had literally talked about was the spiritual freedom and the spells that was put upon you. How do you change? Those are obstacles. Well, the first thing that you do, you change your environment. And that's why you notice I said it's certain sounds that you can bring into your environment to calm you down. And you can turn around and revise whatever it was that someone said to you. Go back to that time of that specific person and see that person, but see them as a cartoon character. I don't want to make, not a bad, I don't want to mess up your Marvel comic strips and stuff like that, but see them as a little cartoon character, and you're looking at them, really something that make you laugh, and hear them say what they said to you that hurt you. It could have been a teacher, could have been somebody, and hear them say that, but then turn around and change it. Either you turn it around and you say, nope, that's not me, that's not gonna ever be me, so I X that out. and hear that and meditate on that as you telling them that. Or you can just hear them say it, and then you can hear them turn around and say, oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't talking about you. Do you see how I revised that? You just changed that obstacle. Well, Miss P, how was that an obstacle? It was really an obstacle because that one word or those many words you kept repeatedly hearing in your life totally mess you up. Let's go with somebody saying, "Oh, you ugly." See them. It's gonna hurt to see them at first, and then when you see them as a harmless little cartoon character, you literally can hear them say, "You're ugly," and then hear them turn around and say, "Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at myself in the mirror. I felt that I was ugly. I was told this, so I turned around and told you were ugly, but you wasn't." That's a lot of words. So you want to do something like have them say, "Oh, I apologize. I heard that all my life. Forgive me. You're not ugly and I'm not ugly." You can hear yourself looking at them saying, "Oh no, take a good look. I'm beautiful." Do you see how I did that? Short phases, short words, you can say it back to them. The reason why you're doing that is because you're revising what they said. You took the obstacle and made it an opportunity now. Now you have no excuse. You have no excuse. You can go buy nice clothes. You can go and put the whatever makeup you want to put on. You're beautiful. You don't have to feel like I'm too short. You can walk in the room if you're a man and say, "Oh, it may look like you got height, but listen, I got everything else that's taller." You don't have to compete. You don't have to copy off anybody. You understand what I'm trying to say? You go back and revise that. And living in its fullest spiritual freedom is turn on the sound, go to the beach, sit and get in tune with yourself. When you get in tune with yourself, you really get in tune with God. You cannot hate the Creator without hating His creation. Do you understand? I said something about that before. So when you love yourself, you are loving what made you. If you had kids, you wouldn't want your kids to look at you and say, "I can't stand you." You wouldn't want them to look at you and say, "I hate myself, I hate myself." You're going to say, "Oh my God, what did I do wrong?" So get in connection with your environment. Find out the sounds that really vibrate you to a upper level, a higher level, a zone of happiness, a zone of relaxation, a zone of peace and quiet. Find out. Go get that. Oh my goodness, you can get Alexa, you can get Google, and have that playing in the background. Put on your favorite music. I'm going to say to you, don't go put on those love songs unless they're happy. Because when you listen, some of y'all say, "I don't think that worked." Listen, when was the last time you listened to that love song that you and your ex enjoyed? You remember I said ex. What happened? Whenever somebody played that music, you start remembering that ex. Sometimes you say, "Turn it off, turn it off, turn it off," because sound brings back memories. So we want to go ahead and revise those memories. And then we want to put sound in when we start getting, overly anxious, when we start feeling like, "Oh, I can't take it anymore. I'm ugly." Or you just keep on going on. "I'll never be nobody," because somebody told you, somebody that you really, really trust. That's how we break that obstacle. And then you look closely, that obstacle will turn into an opportunity. So what I'm going to do, I hope that helps somebody. I am literally going to go ahead and give you a quote as we leave. The beginning of love in God is loving yourself. The creation can't hate the Creator, by Phyllis Y. Whitley. And I just went over that. So with that being said, thank you for coming into my space. I hope I changed Just little stuff. I might have gave you 2 questions that you need to ask yourself, but those 2 questions and learning how to revise it is going to make a difference. Start with 3 major things that you know you cannot forget that somebody said to you. Go back and revise it. Contact me, leave the testimony. Tell me about it. And you're going to find out, well, when you did 1, you can do 2, you can do 3. That's what it's all about. It's just that simple. Go back and revise it. Okay? I am so happy. I need you to now go and get your promised land, share on social media platform about my podcast, because I don't know who you know. Leave a manifested review. You got to leave the review. You got to listen. Appreciate my podcast as I appreciate you listening. And don't miss the opportunity of ordering my book, Spiritology, because I'm only here to give you the dessert. You need the whole meal. What's new? We know I'm going to keep saying it until I make my next book, Ask Jalen. Oh, it's doing wonderful. I actually have t-shirts on Amazon with that, Ask Jalen. So get it for yourself, get it for your kids. You can't wear it if you're wearing a uniform, but you can wear it around the block and let people know, hey, I'm standing up against bullying. I don't want to say against. We don't want you to be against, but we want you to be for. Say, hey, I'm for being friends. I'm not for bullying. And the other thing, I am blogging now. So you can go to my website and get the blog, phylliswhitley.com. I'm sorry if I haven't told y'all that. I know some of y'all said, where is her website? Now, what I want you to do, we got the blog. I have on there also, if you feel you want a little bit more of meditation, counseling, and revising, go to my website. I'll be more than happy. Make an appointment. Get a free 15-minute free consultation to see if we are a good fit. Okay? And one thing you got to remember is loving yourself is right. You don't want to be wrong.